Well, hi, everybody. Welcome to our Lost in LA Bumblecast. Hope you're doing well out there. It has been a busy, hectic, crazy week here in LA. I'll start by just talking about the animals. You can see Olive here and Kato taking a nap as usual. Triple T sitting across from me on the couch with the dark haired lady. Everybody's doing good. Everybody's healthy, which is something we don't get to say too often here in Bumble Land. Normally, somebody's in the vet or somebody's got some ailment to deal with. But things look really good right now. Olive is her usual wild self, chasing her toy around the house. So good to hear. Everybody's doing okay. As many of you know, if you watch the news, if you follow the news, it has been kind of a crazy time here in Los Angeles. Immigrations and customs enforcement cracking down on people in the country without documentation. And that has led to some really troubling times, riots, protests, that kind of thing. And a lot of people have been contacting us. They're concerned about our well being, if we're doing okay. And we should just say we're fine. We're like 30 miles north of Los Angeles in the town of Santa Clarita. And it's been very quiet here. We have really not a big problem here in this area. But in downtown LA, a different story. It's really kind of hectic and crazy and concerning. And especially those first few days where we had the rioting. We need to clarify, though, it's in a very isolated, small area that we're talking about. Downtown LA, it's near Dodger Stadium. Most people in LA don't go through that area a lot unless they have to go to a game or something like that. So it's not really impacting a lot of people or a large area. And we want to clarify that because so many people kind of have maybe a misguided notion of what's actually going on. They think it's widespread and they think the whole town's dealing with this. And that's just not the
Isn't
case.
it just like a 1 mile square area?
It's like a 1 mile square area, and sadly for that area, there's a lot of damage. A lot of the stores and businesses were looted, and glass was broken, and there's just graffiti everywhere. It's really sad to see, and I don't think it's indicative of the protests in general. I mean, most of the protesters, if you watch this stuff for hours the way we do in the news business, most of them are pretty peaceful. They're down there with signs and chants, and the usual kind of thing. And then as the evening wears on, you tend to see this different element kind of blend into the crowd and start causing trouble. And people start throwing bottles, and then the police start responding to that. So, yeah, it's not indicative of the crowd in general, but it doesn't take much to cause problems. Olive, you're going to fall off there. Your butt is hanging off there, girl. I don't know if you be careful, please, Olive. I don't need to go to the vet with you again today. So yeah, the situation in LA, and it has calmed down, by the way. They instituted a curfew in downtown Los Angeles, and that really seems to have helped police get a handle on things. But the first few days were pretty crazy and scary. So things have calmed down, and that is good to hear, and let's hope it stays that way. Something else we're talking about today, it is Father's Day weekend, and we're curious about how people are celebrating. Personally, I have to tell you, Father's Day is just not a big deal to me. It's not something I think about or plan for, or I just don't worry about it.
Well, as a mother, I certainly want to be appreciated and shown appreciation from my 3 kids on Mother's Day. I expect more than just a text. I want cards or gifts
And
or
rightly so.
or
Mother's Day is so
something
important.
for the 31, 29, and 22 years I've spent and continue to do taking care of my children. So I expect a little more than just a text saying Happy Mother's Day.
Yeah,
So
and you should. Mother's Day just is more important. Let's be honest. I had a front row seat to watch two of my kids being born. I mean, women literally sacrifice their bodies for their children, and men don't do that. And if men had to give birth to children, they'd never have kids because men are too selfish. We wouldn't want to go through that. But yeah, women do it, and that's why they deserve all the praise on Mother's Day. And Father's Day, a barbecue's fine, I think, or just a happy Father's Day is probably all most dads need, I think, out there. So yeah, we're debating about that and just wondering if anybody kind of puts it on the same plane as Mother's Day, and I don't think people do. Mother's Day is just a much bigger deal because moms they do a lot more for their kids. Let's face it, and they're furry kids too, right, guys? Yeah, even Kato, who's sleeping through this whole thing. Also, we're talking about an interesting story that was in the New York Times. Whenever you go on a trip, you try and go to the bathroom because you don't want to stop in the middle of the trip. Well, now there's some indication that maybe that's not so good for you, at least according to this article. What do you think?
it's about proactive peeing and how if you make yourself go to the bathroom before you actually really have to, that it's actually worse for you, and it's training your bladder to hold less. And then
Okay.
in that, in that way, it's
I can see this on a dating app. Are you a proactive peer?
so they're basically saying, obviously, if you do have to go, really go, then go, because that will, lead to other things if you don't, like bladder infections. But if you don't necessarily have to really go, they're saying just don't go just to go.
Well, it makes sense. But before the newscast, we do a morning show. It's 3 hours long. I try and go because I don't want to have to go in the middle of the show because it's hard because we have commercial breaks of 3 minutes at the most, and you're literally running to the bathroom to go to the bathroom and get back on set for the show. It's kind of crazy and hectic, but yeah, sometimes you got to do that, right, Olive? So yeah, don't be a proactive peer. At least not on a regular basis, maybe. That's the moral to that story. We do have a review for you, a show we're reviewing. It is called Department Q on Netflix. It is a police crime drama involving a British police officer who works in Scotland, which is something you don't see very often, working to solve cold cases. And he's kind of a grumpy old Gus, and he's put together with a cast of misfit police people to solve these crimes. And we thought it was pretty good. What'd you think?
Well, I like anything British, Scottish, or Irish, and especially crime dramas. And yeah, so I really like this. We watched the whole season, and I think they may be doing another season. I'm not sure yet, but yeah, I thought it was pretty interesting, pretty good.
Yeah, Department Q on Netflix. The dark-haired lady does love anything with a British accent. In this case, it was a Scottish accent for a lot of them, but I think that's close enough for her. And this is a show we liked, and it is expected to give us another season, so we'll be looking forward to it. So that is going to do it, I think, for our Lost in LA Bumblecast today. These guys are already napping. They had their walk today, and it was pretty warm out, so they're kind of zonked out and all tired.
We wanted to put out another request for people's quick little 30-second selfie videos of you and your pet, saying that you watched the Bumblecast and your name, your pet's name, where you're from, and we would love to have those. And if you send it to me at the Bumblesnot page, PM me there, we'll be sure to add it to our next Bumblecast.
Yeah, we had one from the Netherlands last week. So all over the world, and it's great to see people who are watching and thinking about animals and specifically dogs and cats that need homes. So yeah, if you're thinking about a pet, maybe check out your local shelter or rescue agency because there are a lot of animals that certainly need a place to live, and those shelters are getting a little crowded. So thanks for joining us, everybody. Have a great day, and happy Father's Day.
Happy Father's Day. Bye-bye.